this year?
Yes. You mean the Meatloaf that's on tour now?
Meatloaf.
And I say that lovingly, but holy cow, that guy's made a transformation.
Yeah. Put on 30 or 40 pounds as best we can learn from the interviews. Some of that is not necessarily muscle, but he's gotten big and he hits the ball hard,
and
man.
Pounding drives, pounding the ball.
So I've got like an example of that. First, the PGA Tour coverage has gotten so good when you check out PGAtour.com and see some of these shots and be able to compare the swings with the result, which we're going to do for the winner, Dustin Johnson, here in a second.
DJ, absolutely.
Yep. So Bryson, this is the second shot into number 10, which is not an easy hole, 462 yards, as you'll see from my cursor there, and he had 124 yards in.
Amazing.
It's pretty good, right? And this is at sea level too. So let's go back to his tee shot. And he's hitting a lot of the fairways too. So here's the shot he hit. Massive push draw that went 327 at sea level. Launched it really hard with a ball speed of 182. Meanwhile, like guys who are on the long drive kind of circuits are hitting around the 200 range. Right. So he's gone a long way. Club head speed of 128. That's probably faster than what our buddy Brad Skupeka, who competes in long drive contests, does. Yes, it is faster. And I think it's and I think the spin rate has been interesting to see with all these shots. The tour data has gotten so good. So 22.49, smash factor 1.43. Probably mishit it ever so slightly too, and still went that far. And then the apex is about 40 yards into the air. That's just pretty typical for what he does. That isn't even strange. So I thought that was super interesting. It's going to be fun to watch him play the rest of the year. Then I was looking at some stats of Dustin Johnson. He's won every year, I think, since 2013. That's a good start to the debate on how well he's playing. But then up here, I've got the strokes gained off the tee performance when he wins. This was one of the worst performances that he's had, which maybe isn't surprising because he actually didn't have to hit a bunch of drivers. But I don't know if you've been watching him over the past few years. He's been trying to play more of a fade. And I wouldn't say his driving's really gotten a lot better because of it, but I do want to highlight a couple of those shots. But he's just one of the best drivers on the tour. Anywhere from the strokes gained off the tee stat since 2014. The worst he's finished so far has been 5th. That was in 2014.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, against all those guys, and he's 13th this year. So driving it like a beast. And then at the Travelers, his par 4 scoring average was awesome. So, I mean, he played really good golf. One of the shots that I thought was interesting was watching him on, checking out his scorecard. Hole 13 was a tough play for him. So first, his tee shot. He hit this pull draw out of bounds.
Yep.
So I know most of his shots he's trying to hit some fades into the fairway, but let's take a look at that actual shot and see what it looks like. Here it is. Aiming from the right side of the tee box, trying to play probably a 20 or 30 yard cut shot into the fairway. Hit it really straight, looks like it drew just a little bit. Carried it about 275, and it bounced onto the railroad tracks.
I've hit that shot.
That was the first one.
The play for the fade and just hit it dead straight.
You got it. But the story's told all the time, Dave. You listen to the TV commentators enough that never happens. If you're going to play a fade, you're more likely to end up in the middle of the fairway. So here he is on 15. This is a drivable par 4, 295. And he's got a 3-wood or something like that out, and you see him trying to play the exact same shot and hitting the same one. This one plugged in the rough outside of the water hazard there, so he got a free drop from that.
Okay.
It was like the Freddie Couples moment of all of them. So that was pretty interesting. That's really what set him up to end up winning that thing. Then the shot that I always think that Dustin should be playing anyway, here it is on 18. It's a towering push draw that had a ball speed that rivaled Bryson DeChambeau at 180, spin rate 1918, and the shot went 351. So check out this hit. This is more what his game is really suited for, is to hit a shot like that. It is the highest smashed push draw. Nobody was probably closer all day. I'd be shocked if somebody hit one more than 351. That isn't even really like a driver off of most of the tees for those guys. A lot of 3-woods are hit there just to keep it in the fairway. Yep. So that one was pretty awesome. One of the attributes to his swing that we've talked about before was this one. So this is just a picture that really shows when the shaft's parallel to the ground on the downswing. You notice how the sweet spot of this club is really far inside of his hands. He has the face angle more closed than most tour players here do too, and the least amount of spin loft, which is the difference between that pink arrow and the yellow. So couple that with his flexed wrist, and he's ready to hit these things as draws. But,
Yeah, and he's been, right?
That's how he played most of his career up until the last couple of years, when I think what happened to him and happens with a lot of tour players is they start hooking too much, and then they don't know how to stop, so they decide, I'm just going to hit a bunch of fades.
Yep.
So that wasn't...
Try to completely kind of reverse the habits that you're in or the patterns that you're in.
And that wasn't too surprising, because I've seen that one a bunch. So I found a video on Dustin Johnson hitting a fade. I thought this one was really good because it's actually, I think, a really nice description of it. And this is from 9 years ago of him talking about how to hit a fade. So let's check this one out.
So I'm going to set it up a little bit towards the front of my stance. And then I'm going to set the club face square to where I want to start the ball. And then I'm going to drop my left foot way back. So it's going to put some cut spin on it.
So that was really good, and that he articulated the ball flight law as well. Yep. Aim the face where you want the ball to start. You don't aim that where you want the ball to end up, because that's really giving you the initial direction of the shot anyway. And then swing more to the left than that.
And
unfortunately, on holes 13 and 15, he broke his cardinal rule.
Okay, cardinal rule.
You ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
Never forget this one.
This feels like it's going to be the secret.
Especially playing a fade is the most important thing that can happen is you make sure you fade it.
You forgot that on 13 and 15.
Holy cow, next time I tee it, I'm just going to remember to not forget. Is that all it takes?
That's apparently it, man. So, I mean, between Dustin's just awesome, though. He's one of the best drivers. He's so skilled. He knows, he does understand the ball flight laws, which isn't a surprise. I know where he learned how to curve the ball and how his ball flight laws work, but pretty awesome to watch these long hitters just dismantle this place.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
I don't really see distance being such a problem with the game. This is not like the longest golf course. There aren't 14 drivers to pound out there as far as you can. So it was pretty interesting. A couple other comments I saw. I don't have a video of Phil Mickelson talking about how they gave him an exemption into the U.S. Open this year. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
Just turned 50. He did say this would be one of the hardest events for him to win because he drives the ball, and the way he said it was, the way I do. What do you think he's highlighting there?
I'm not sure. I mean, he's been talking a lot in the last few years about his monster, what does he call them, his bombs, his monster bomb drives, but
hitting his bombs.
Yeah, definitely accuracy. I guess that's why I carried two drivers for him.
Yeah. It doesn't hit it very straight, so he knows he's at a big disadvantage. He played really nice this week until Sunday mid-morning. Then it started to get a little bit away from him. But PGA Tour has been pretty fun to watch this year, and I love this 3D cast and what the PGA Tour is doing for the telecasts has been awesome. Every shot's got the shot tracer, so it's fun to watch. Quite honestly, I'm watching very few of these shots, but the ones I do get to watch are pretty interesting. So if you're avid and interested in golf, serious about golf, and you like watching it, huge upgrades from the tour this year. The COVID-19 cases, though, did you see that? We had another 3 or so this week, and probably up to 5, 6, 7 players so far.
I did see that, yeah.
That one seems rough, man. Can you imagine, you get a positive test, and then you're stuck quarantining, in a different city that you don't live in?
Right.
So that happened to Nick Watney. So if he's got 14 days in a strange town in a hotel room or wherever he's going to end up being for that, that's not a lot of fun. So don't think this is a lot of fun for the players. I did talk to a friend of mine who caddies this week.
Okay.
And he said the testing is unbelievable. It's rigorous. Everybody's trying to be safe out there. It's just tough to avoid when you go to you're at these touristy towns like Hilton Head. And I wouldn't say that Cromwell, Connecticut is all that touristy, but there are enough people there where if you're going out on the town or having dinner someplace, it can get a little unsafe. But the players are trying to take care of themselves, so it's been fun to watch. I'm sure it'll just get better and better as the testing improves and they do more of it.
And it's great that it's back. There's other sports that are coming back slowly but surely, a few that are already on the circuit like NASCAR, and then others that are coming. Baseball's coming eventually, hopefully, and things like that. But it's great that golf's one of the ones that's there, and it's we're able to sit there and drink it in as the consumers of the sport on TV.
Think we'll have an NFL season?
I hope so.
Yeah,
we need. That's definitely in my top 5.
Yeah.
So definitely got to have an NFL season, at least for me. If the NFL could do it for me, that'd be fantastic.
Maybe every team will be fine, but the Steelers. Cameron Champ was the newest one this week who tested positive, and then you had a few few negatives. So we'll keep watching the news. That's worth watching the Golf Channel. They'll have the updates from the tour as fast as they can get them that way. So I think that's where I was looking at watching this year. You've got some awesome new players who have played some awesome rounds. A lot of big hitters are playing really nice golf. This is going to be fun. We're going to get a couple majors here soon, so I'm looking forward to some of that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Bryson will do. Right, I was early on a few years ago when he kind of launched onto the scene. I was one of the guys in our conversation that was kind of going, "What is this guy doing with all of his calculations and spritzing his golf balls to try to do different tests and things like that?" And now he's got the new body transformation, and holy cow, it's working right now. He's playing pretty darn well, so it's going to be great to watch and see what he does. I'm on the Bryson bandwagon.
Yeah, and it's beyond the driver. He's got a big advantage. Like I'm looking at the first shot here on number 1.
Yep.
So this is usually a driver and then like a 6 or 7 iron sometimes for players. He's just smashing a 3-wood out there at 3,500 RPMs of backspin with a fast enough ball speed. So he's got tons of control off hitting his 3-wood, and it can go just as far as a lot of those drivers are. So even the holes that are not drivers or 3-woods, he can stand up there and hit a 4-iron into the middle of the fairway. His odds are a lot better. And
distance is rarely a disadvantage.
But he's hitting it so straight.
I know.
That's the amazing part. I do want to take a look and dissect a little bit of his swing and what's been different here soon too. I'll say the major things that I see are the maybe doesn't have quite as much hip sway in the downswing. So doesn't have his pelvis as close to the target. He's definitely jumping off the ground a whole lot more than he was bending himself backward. But the downswing, the wrist cock, he's added a bunch of that on the way back and more on the way down. And I saw a video of him talking tremendously about his downswing thoughts, and one of them was pull his arms down as fast as he could, as hard as he could to start his swing. It's kind of a big trend right now on, I'd say, in some of the internet instructors to not do that. Keep your left arm or your lead arm pinned up against your chest. So it's a little bit different than necessarily some of the.
So he's kind of using DJ's way to hit a fade. He's to hit it long. He's just remembered to hit it long.
Yeah,
just kind of remembering just to swing hard.
He's got it. So I don't know. We'll see how well he keeps putting. That's been maybe the hardest part for him. And he's never been like the best around the green. So 30, 40 yards away, or even just little pitches. Hasn't been his best. He's still awesome. He's awesome at everything. But I wouldn't be shocked if he wins in the next couple weeks or the next couple events, and maybe even contends at some majors that are coming up here. I would love that guy at Augusta.
Would be great to see him and Tiger final group Sunday in November, though, right? So there's not going to be any flowers, I don't think, but we'll see.
No, I mean, I would not be shocked if Bryson and Tiger pull out drivers on a few of those holes and Bryson's 50 past him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how hard he's hitting it right now. So when do you start in that plan?
The just swing hard?
The Bryson plan.
The Bryson plan?
You start eating a ton. I think he's doing 5 protein shakes a day.
Friday?
Okay.
Do it Friday.
You heard it first. So you probably see this thing next week. Tomorrow, I want to do something cool, though.
What are we doing?
I'm going to challenge you to do some games.
Here we go.
I like have
games.
A little contest of skill, and I am not warming up, practicing, or doing anything.
Are we cooking steaks, or are we hitting golf balls?
We're going to hit some golf balls.
All right.
So you want to watch us do a little competition? Tune in tomorrow. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Nick.